One love to you beautiful deep divers, another new day. It's a new day. We got birds up there. We got butterflies, trees, leaves, bees. In the heart of nature, no place I'd rather be. Let me send you some good ass energy right now, deep divers. Take that, take that, take that. To everyone watching this video, I'm here to remind you, you're gonna be okay. And even though a lot of people are looking a little bit shaky, baby, with everything that's happening in the planet, on Earth, in the world around them, you're gonna be okay. Look out, you're gonna be celebrating something major soon. You're gonna start attracting what your heart truly desires. You see, I talk things into existence and then they manifest. And we have to always remind ourselves of this. Perception creates reality. We can talk about what we want and it will come into fruition. And we must never forget, when we take control of our mind, we now can create our own reality. And this is what everyone has to do right now on the planet. Take control of your mind again, because many people have had their minds hijacked by the inorganic ones. They can't think for themselves. And this episode is entitled The Beginning of the End. The end is nigh. Many people can feel it, like, gosh, something doesn't feel right, Ralph. It seems like the whole world is ending, and that's because it is. This version of the world is ending, and this is the beginning of the end. We got a whole lot to talk about, deep divers. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers, we are out here in the heart of nature, baby. Breathe with me. Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. I came outside early, deep divers, and I started to raising the frequency. I woke up at 5 o'clock and I started to raising the vibration. We got to keep our frequency and our vibration high. First and foremost, we live in a world so fake, the truth actually scares people. You see? It's that easy. The beginning of the end. For something to begin, something has to end. And we are in the midst of the final end game on the planet. The last quarter. And we have an opportunity to create the new earth of love, peace amongst men and women and the cat down the road, freedom where our children can grow up in and feel supported. Or we can create a world of authoritarian, technocratic dictatorship where you have no freedom whatsoever. Someone sent me a message, and make sure you add me on Instagram at Ralph Smart. They said, Ralph, I'm looking a little bit shaky, baby, every single day, because I can feel like the whole world going down a very bad path with everything that's happening with the new variant and just the state of the world. It's like people are losing their freedoms, like there are quarantine camps in Australia. And I don't know if there's any hope for humanity, Ralph. Can you shed some light on that? And I'm like, absolutely. But first, can you get me some breakfast? Because we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? First and foremost, deep divers, the population is slowly approaching 8 billion people. Now, once again, we don't actually know how many people there are on the planet, because you would have to count each one. Do you have the time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that. What we do know is that there are a lot of human beings on this planet. And just imagine if 7.8 billion people loved and appreciated each other, what we could all accomplish. Slow motion this side. That's the good news. The power has always been with the 99%. The power has always been with the people. And that's the good news. The bad news is that it doesn't matter how many of there are. It doesn't matter how many of you there are, because 1% can control the 99% if the 1% are organized. The inorganic ones are organized. They don't have time to dance on TikTok or scroll on Facebook because they're too busy finding out new ways to keep you in lockdown and control your us. They only have one mission, and their mission is to make your life a living hell. And this is why the 1% can control billions of people, because they're organized, and we're seeing it. So we have to learn and say, wait a minute, we are the majority. There's nothing stopping us from taking back our power, from taking back our freedom, except our differences. You see, as you go up the pyramid, they all work together. And they only have one objective, and that is world domination, world control. The people at the bottom, the masses, are too distracted, just dancing on TikTok, all of these things, not realizing that your prison is becoming smaller. So it's time to wake up and stop drinking the Kool-Aid, because this is the beginning of the end. Someone sent me an article, and I was reading it thinking, oh my gosh. So in this article, Deep Divers, the scientists who created the first living robots have now got these robots to reproduce. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we now have living robots reproducing. This is scary stuff, Deep Divers, right? I told you about Sophia, who became the first humanoid citizen. And this is where the inorganic ones want to take the whole world, to turn human beings into humanoids. That's what this is all about. And this is the beginning of the end, to say, wait a minute, am I going to allow myself to become a humanoid? Am I going to allow myself to become a humanoid, or am I going to hold onto my humanity? You see, the Archons spoke about the Gnostics, the early Christians. And I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've already been there. But the Gnostics were very spiritual. And they spoke about a force called the Archons. And this force has been manipulating human beings for eons. I call this force the inorganic ones. And what the inorganic ones are most afraid of is your humanity. You see, if I was to ask you, Deep Divers, what makes a human being a human being? You might say the feeling. Human beings have the ability to feel. They can express sympathy. They have empathy. They have love in their heart. And this is why they hate you. Because you have this ability to feel. But this whole plan has been to stop human beings from feeling. And this is why when you walk around you are now seeing a lot of desensitized human beings. You're like, is anyone in there? Or are you just a humanoid? Many people are turning into cyborgs and they don't even know it. Many people are turning into humanoids and they don't even know it. So this is the beginning of the end. We have a last chance to hold on to our humanity. Otherwise, there are going to be no human beings left. And everyone you see is going to be a cyborg, a humanoid. Except the cat down the road. Cats are aliens, by the way, deep divers. The beginning of the end. If we don't stand up for our freedoms, it's over. We might as well say good night. Because they are stepping it up. They're stepping it up every single day. The inorganic ones don't sleep. They never take a day off because their time is running out. They know their time is up on the planet. All lies have an expiry date. The expiry date is slowly approaching. They know that, gosh, if they don't bring everyone down with them, they are no longer going to exist. And this is why they want to bring you into their metaverse, their artificial virtual reality, because this is the only way they can survive. They are not living, breathing. They don't have life in them. They are dead. They are corpses. That's why they have these corporations. A corporation is a dead body. Slow motion this side. But you, human being, are alive. You can think, you can feel. And shout out to all the human beings who have a mind of their own. Shout out to all the human beings who are no longer drinking the Kool-Aid. Shout out to all the human beings who are out there on the front lines, protecting the mental health of their children, to say, wait a minute, this is unacceptable. And I refuse to live in a world that's turning into 1984. We didn't come here for this. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take for you to open your mouth, because a closed mouth does not get fed. 7-day vegan challenge. It's time to start eating delicious plant-based meals, deep divers. It's time to learn how to start growing your own fruits and vegetables, because this is the beginning of the end. I came across an article which was saying that in the near future, all foods are going to be made in the lab, right? You're not going to start getting fresh fruits and vegetables anymore. They're just going to be made in a lab. And this is why there are no seeds in a lot of grapes anymore. And this has really crushed Ralph Smart's heart, because I love grapes, right? So anytime I'm looking for grapes, it's not easy, because to find grapes with seeds in, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Because they took the seeds out of the food. They took the seeds out of the foods, so the foods can become soulless. Food is information. When you are eating, you are downloading information from the cosmos, and that's why it's so essential you start eating sun-kissed foods with seeds in them, right? Fruits with seeds. The beginning of the end, deep divers. Now, I came across a video of a woman in a quarantine camp in Australia, and it was very disturbing. They had the guard there, and the guard was saying you cannot leave, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? But this is actually happening right now on the planet, and it's time for people to wake up. Take a look at what's happening in Australia, because that's the blueprint for the whole world, unless you start standing up for your freedoms. This is the beginning of the end. The split is happening with the final endgame, and nothing is more clearer than the split right now. There are people, young people, who really get what's going on, to say, wait a minute, I'm not going to allow myself to be fooled. But there are some old people who are just going along with this script. because they don't have a high level of awareness, of consciousness. They're trapped in the 5 sense prison. And this is why you have to open your eyes to remind yourself there are levels to this shit. And there are levels to consciousness, levels to awareness. And the split is happening right now. You're starting to see a split between 3D and 5D, between those who don't mind the world becoming a prison and those who know being free is our birthright. A split between those who don't mind being experimented on and having this and that done to them, and those who say, wait a minute, my body, my truth, my freedom, say it with me. My body, my truth, my freedom. There are those who are already in the 5th dimension where love reigns supreme. And this is why this whole thing, the inorganic ones are trying to do to humanity, they can see it from like a mile away. They're like, hey, I'm not going to fall for the okie doke. I'm not going to fall for the okie doke because I already know what's happening. I know this whole thing is a big lie. You can't fool me because I know who I am and I'm not scared. And shout out to all the deep divers, all the chosen ones who are choosing love over everything. This is the answer. Choose love over everything and stop living in fear. I'm not afraid, deep divers, because the universe is my bodyguard. What? Slow motion this side. I said, I'm not afraid because the universe is my bodyguard. The beginning of the end. Now people are starting to say, oh my gosh, they were right. All of those people warning us about what was coming on the planet, that they were going to start going crazy in terms of trying to censor people, take away people's freedoms, and it's happening right now. And this is why people have to remind themselves, nothing happens without you stepping into radical action. And if you don't like what the world is becoming, you can say no. You do have that freedom right now to say no. And the more you say no, the more you take back your power. The more you say, well, I'm going to be quiet, your silence is consent. What? Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. Your silence is consent. So, congratulations to everyone who's not keeping silent, and to everyone who's speaking their truth, even if their voice shakes, because that's what it's going to take. Because that's what it's going to take. The beginning of the end. We're now seeing people being judged and treated differently based on their medical status. And this is why we have to protect our freedoms at all costs. This is why we have to stand up to the inorganic ones. This is why, because if we don't, this is going to be the new world, where it's slowly going to turn, just like China have a social credit score. This is what the world is going to turn into for you. It's going to turn into a social credit score where they're going to be able to see by your phone, and I told you, your phone is a big trap. Turn it off sometimes. Come into nature, come outside. Woo! Breathe in that good ass prana, baby. But they created these iPhones to track your every move. When you turn off your phone, it can still listen to you. The AI is listening to you. So many crimes are being caught because of people's phones. Right? Your phone is spying on you. And this is the beginning of the end, where everything you do is being tracked, traced, and monitored. And this is why you have to hold on to your freedoms to say, wait a minute, I'm no longer just going to willingly give my data to people who are going to use it against me. That's the solution. But in China, they have a social credit score. And when you see these rollouts, because of this new variant, Omicron or moronic, now it's another booster, another booster, another booster. It's just going to keep on going. It was only supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve, but I told you, the inorganic ones want this to keep going forever and ever. A social credit score is going to be like, if you don't do what we tell you to do, you're going to lose points. If you don't have this booster shot, you're going to lose points. And you are going to be treated differently according to your social credit score. And this is the whole plan. And that's why you have to say no to the credit. You got to say no to the social credit score. You got to say no to being a human QR code. You got to say no to being a human barcode. You got to say no to being a cyborg. You got to hold on to your humanity. Being free is your birthright. We are all on the same team. And this is where we reclaim our power. I want my vision back. We can have our vision back when we remind ourselves, if we only came together, we would be the greatest force on the planet. But guess what? The beginning of the end. You know why this is all happening right now? Because many human beings are divided. You're still arguing amongst each other, not realizing the inorganic ones have learned the laws of power. Never isolate yourself. They work together. They work for a common cause, which is to control as many human beings as possible and to spread as much fear out there as possible. They work globally. The eye in the sky. We got to put aside our differences. We got to stop fighting amongst each other. We got to lose the ego and move to our heart space. This is the only solution and way out of this. I'm only here to give you a message. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. That this is the beginning of the end. And two worlds are forming. One world is a world of human beings who have no freedom, who live in a virtual metaverse and become the AI. And the other world is the new earth, the fifth dimension, peace, love, freedom. And it's your choice to choose which door you're going to walk into. Are you going to walk further into your slavery, or are you going to walk into your freedom? That choice I leave to you. I'm already in the fifth dimension, deep divers. Just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Come and join me and be free, deep divers. Let me just... Oh, that was beautiful. Breathe with me, deep divers. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Shout out to everyone who's been getting the wonderful good ass prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you are a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart who wants to model the clothing, well, go and buy some, okay? Add me on Instagram, deep divers, for more daily inspiration at Ralph Smart, at official Ralph Smart. Do that right away. And Facebook at Ralph Smart, at Infinite Waters, and Snapchat at... It's that good ass prana, baby. Check out the new book, Deep Divers, for more powerful, life-changing information just like this. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook. They tried to bury us, deep divers. They forgot we were seeds. They tried to drown us, deep divers. They forgot we were deep divers. Deep divers, deep divers. I love all of you. Remind yourself. Freedom is never given. Freedom is taken. Freedom is taken. Power is never given. Power is taken back. Take back your power. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your freedom. And unite with your fellow brother and sister, because this is the beginning of the end. A whole new world is upon us. And we must create the new earth together. And put love first. And choose love over everything. Have a beautiful day, deep divers. Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Stay well. Stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Let me just breathe in that good ass prana, baby. Leave a comment down below, deep divers, of your excitement for the new earth. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Peace.